Talk about the astrology of what just happened politically and the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. On Friday, I was texting with a friend about how I wanted to film the upcoming Mars-Uranus conjunction that's happening on July 15th, and this is energy that we have been building to. And I blacked out a bunch of stuff that I wrote that was personal, so no one needs to see that, but I talked here in the text chain about how I was debating whether I wanted to talk about algol and its significance in astrology, because historically algol is related to head traumas, death, violence, beheadings. And I wasn't sure if I was going to post a video talking about this or not. I was kind of going back and forth and debating the topic. And then I posted in my stories and asked you guys, and there was an overwhelming consensus. I think it was like 96% that people wanted to hear about this, and they wanted to hear actually what happened astrologically related to this attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Algol is a fixed star in astrology, and it is associated with Medusa and violence, death, historically beheadings, and head traumas in general. And it falls at 26 degrees Taurus, to be exact. So this is important. One, if you have anything that's at 26 degrees in Taurus in your chart, or anything aspecting this, whether it's opposing or squaring or anything. And it's also going to be important once we talk about Donald Trump's astrology chart. But I just want to preface this by saying I did hesitate, or I did have reluctancy to talk about this in general in the astrology, because I like to call myself more of an empowered astrologer. I don't like to focus on like the doom and gloom that a lot of people like to focus on, and really focus on how do we take this information and use it to empower ourselves so we can step into our own power and we're not giving our power away. And due to the current circumstances and your requests, we're going to talk about this today. But generally, there is a lot of fear-mongering on social media, and I do try to avoid falling into that because I don't want to add to any division that's already happening. I want to make sure that everyone is feeling empowered as much as they can be. I know this is hard to see a little bit, but this is Donald Trump's chart, and this is the transits that were happening at the time of the shooting and the location. Now, Algol is a fixed star at 26 degrees Taurus. If you look in the sky, Mars and Uranus are getting really close to doing a conjunction there, right, in Taurus. And Mars deals with anger. Mars is the god of war, right? It deals with anger, firearms, shooting, and Uranus is sudden, shocking, unexpected events and things. And Algol is a star that we talked about related to violence, sometimes sudden death, and things related to anything above the neck, like beheadings, head traumas, anything like that. So this was moving, transiting really close to the fixed star, getting really close to this conjunct star, and it's activating Trump's midheaven. And midheaven in everybody's chart is the peak point of their chart. It has to do with your career, your reputation, your public image, your legacy for everybody, okay? And this is squaring Trump's natal Mars in Leo, okay? He also has Mars and Leo at the same degree, within like a 2-degree orb of each other. So not only was this transit happening to activate something in related to like just really impactful, influential events that's going to affect his career and his legacy moving forward in his life, but also is squaring his natal Mars, which is the planet that is all about action, momentum, motivation, violence in his actual birth chart as well. So if any of this isn't clear, comment below. I will clarify further. I don't want this video to be like 10 minutes long. And the other thing I want to mention is that I did a webinar back in January of this year where I talked about Pluto's ingress into Aquarius and how historically we had the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and how there was an uprising of people, and that there was division that rose to this uprising of people, right? So the webinar can be purchased on my website. It's still available to watch. It's going to be setting the stone for the next 20 years to come. So if you are interested in what could potentially happen, I did talk about this back in January. If you watch that webinar, none of the stuff that we're seeing right now politically should really become a surprise to anyone, because this is all just a build-up point, which I've been saying this year is just a build-up year to next year. So there is more stuff coming.